Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. Celtic 2, Hamilton 0, back to winning ways. I mean, it's the first win of 2021. I actually just sat there at the end of the game thinking about that. Like, it's took us 5 attempts and we've finally won in this year's set of games. Wow. Before we go any further with the video, make sure to check out the top line of the description and you can download the OneFootball app. In the OneFootball app you can find out everything from tonight's games, from stats to news to scorelines, everything across the league, all in the one place. Very good, very useful app, especially when we're coming into a time of the year where the fixtures will fly in thick and fast. So use my link in the description, you're helping both me, the channel sponsor out, and let me know what you think in the comments below. Right then, the game itself, nothing spectacular, but I must admit I'm happy just to get the 3 points. It was a game which I think that I quite rightly felt sceptical about. Of course, I made my match preview the other day and I titled it "Wouldn't be surprised if Hamilton beat us," to be honest. And the way things have been going in the past few weeks and extend that on to a few months, you can never take any games an easy game. Hamilton at Celtic Park is, one of those games that you look at and go, right, that's 3 points there. But with the way things have been going as of recent, I think it would be quite naive to look at the game like that. But it would have been very easy for the team to let a little bit of nerves come over them tonight. I think it would have been a little bit easy for them to allow the pressure of what has been the last few weeks come over them and allow silly opportunities for Hamilton. But they never. It was a complete performance, I feel like. And as I said at the top of the video, it was nothing spectacular, but it was something that got the 3 points, and they got the 3 points without worry. Barred one opportunity for Hamilton. It was refreshing to see a Celtic performance that looked confident from back to front. Now, of course, that doesn't mean everything was perfect. There was that one moment with David Moyle, he could have got a goal. There's still moments like that where you try and cut out our game and against better opposition, against a striker who's, a better class than David Moyle, they're probably going to put that in the back of the net. But you take away a little moment like that, it was like the Celtic of old tonight. It was a game that you'd expect on a Wednesday night at Parkhead. I think, going in and expecting a 4-5-0 against Hamilton can be quite standard from people at times, but it's always going to be a tough game. Brian Rice has done well as of recent to try and get a little bit of life back into the Hamilton squad. So it was never going to be easy. So it was good to see the performance we got. It was good the way the game kind of went together from start to finish. And I don't generally have many complaints about tonight. Of course, the one complaint is that we're still in the position of 23 points behind Rangers or whatever it may be at this rate. That's the only complaint. We're here now, we've accepted fate. It's just about stringing wins together now. Of course, I'm going to try and just avoid all conversation about the managerial situation and whether or not he's the right man for the job, because I just speak about it so much. We'll try and concentrate on the game. But to get that win tonight, hopefully will send us on to a wee bit of form now, and we can start getting a lot more positive performances out of certain individuals, and that comes to 2 of the guys tonight who got the goals. If we look at the game from start to finish before we get on to the 3 things, which I think, let me just address straight away. I think talking about 3 specific things from a game against Hamilton at home that we learned is very hard. It's also a game that I don't want to get too, over and above with. I don't want to turn around and say one thing we've learned tonight is Edouard is back amongst the goals just because he scored against Hamilton at Celtic Park. Look, if anything, that should be typical of Edouard, and this season it hasn't been. We haven't seen goals from open play from Edouard that much this season. So I'm not going to come out and go, one thing we've learned is Edouard's back, because that's not the case yet, I don't think. We've got to see a run of that. I think that we've got to see that, week in, week out, that Edouard is contributing to the goals, and not just judge it off one game tonight, which should be standard practice. And it just happens it's not as standard practice this season because of the way that players and the team have been managed. So I don't know what quite the 3 things we've learned is. But if we look at the game from start to finish, we started strong. Griffiths got a good goal, tidy finish, he took his chance well, and it goes to show how good a finisher Griffiths can be. He just needs to keep himself fit. He needs to, work hard to be in the team. Has to stop coming out with stupid media comments and all the rest of it, doing this, that, and next thing. Look, if he just put as much concentration into daft things as he does on the pitch, we would have one of the best strikers in the country, but he doesn't do that. So, he's just very hot and cold, but he starts the game well, gets a good goal, puts us in a nice position, and then, it was nice from Celtic. It was a kind of reminder back to the Rodgers days where we dominated the ball, we passed it about patiently, we did look for chances. We probably should have done better from chances. There was a ball in the box and Griffiths should be getting it in the back of the net. He just doesn't get the final touch on it. Turnbull had a cracking goal. Edouard missed a sitter towards the end of the first half. Just that one moment that we let ourselves down was the bit with Moyo and the chance that he was gifted. I don't know what the defending was about. There was no marking. And that is still a worrying sight to an extent because, against Hamilton, Duffy and Beaton should be switched on. They should be like that, thinking to themselves, let's cover these areas, let's cover every man and make sure they don't get the chances. But it doesn't. It slips for a minute, and as I said earlier, against a better striker, that's a goal. So these moments are worrying, and we need to cut them out. And it does come down to lackadaisical defending, which we've seen all season. But apart from that, half-time, look, I felt rather numb. It wasn't something that set the world alight. And I still thought there was a lot to be desired, to be honest, at half-time. My worry was at half-time that we'd see the same complacency of Celtic that we've seen throughout the season. We've got that one goal lead, and then in the second half we go out, we don't perform well, and then set-piece given to Hamilton, and they get a goal. But no, we keep controlling the game. Passing was nice. I think the tempo was just right for Celtic. And we get a second, and Eduardo's finally back in amongst the goals. And it was a tidy finish from him. I actually, at first, thought he put it over the bar. And I was about to just turn the game off and, call the season quits. I already feel like I should have done that a long time ago, but I thought he was going to put it over the bar. But it's a good finish, takes it down the keeper and does the business. And then from that point on, it's pretty comfortable for Celtic. Hamilton never really got many opportunities in the game. We didn't allow any set pieces to go their way. To worry defensively, so that was good. But we need that more often. We need these comfortable performances. We need to dictate the tone and the pace of the game. That's what Celtic need to do week in, week out. Not just once against Hamilton at Celtic Park, because it could be, as some would dub, the easiest game. You need to do that constantly. You have to do it against every opposition that you welcome to Celtic Park. You do that and you find yourself in the position we have been for the last 9 years, and we've seen that. This season it's not been the case. We've allowed people to come to Celtic Park, we've allowed people to bully us, we've allowed them to dictate the pace of the game. They've been in and about us, and they've took their chances when they can. So, this performance tonight is a real mark of what we should be seeing from Celtic every week. It's just, I don't even need to go through the story of the season, do I? I was happy with a lot of the performances tonight by individuals. I think that the majority of players done their job and they've done it well. There wasn't a lot of moments that made you go towards a specific player. The one moment we spoke about, maybe Duffy and Beaton have to do better there. But, I thought Ayer was brilliant down the right-hand side, and we'll come on to that as part of the kind of free things aspect if we even roll with that. Sorrow, I thought, again, was brilliant. Turnbull, once again, brilliant. All of the part, Elyounoussi, I thought was good. I thought he was trying to get in and about the game. I think he probably deserved a bit more. Griffiths and Edouard getting on the score sheets. And the defence was quiet. Didn't have to worry much. So I'm quite happy with the individual performances. Sorrow putting on another man of the match performance. Scott Bain back between the sticks. The one thing that baffles me, and I'm going to come on to the three things we've learned. We'll start with this. What is happening with the management of Vasilis Barkas? I don't think I've seen a more questionable management of a player than Vasilis Barkas in a long time at Celtic. I just don't. I fail to understand what we're doing with him and what's the plan with him. Look, I will be first to admit that Barkas has been disappointing this season, especially with the standards I think that we all kind of built up in our heads would get with him. But he's had a tough time with it. He always done is kind of pick the ball at the back of the net, and I can understand why Neil Lennon would potentially drop him. But why has he continued to drop him time and time again? Why is he giving him sporadic runs in the team, and then he's dropped out? To give Hazard a go for a few weeks. Then he comes back in, then Bain comes in, then he comes back in, he's back in, out. No wonder he's doing as badly as he is when, he's getting thrown in and about the team. I think that he's been incredibly unlucky with the back line in front of him. I think any goalkeeper would just been baffled by Duffy, Beaton, and this whole season. I think they would have looked at it and went, what am I meant to do here? And I think they would have struggled just as much as Barkas unless they were genuinely world class like Fraser Forster. I think that any keeper would struggle with that, but the fact that he is coming in and out the team time and time again, I don't think Lennon's got a clue what to do with him. And yes, he has been disappointed, maybe deserves to be dropped, but why do this? Why bring him in and out? The management of him is probably not helping towards the situation. And I'm just failing to understand it. It's annoying. But it is what it is now. Bain starts tonight, gets a clean sheet, so expect to see Bain play for the next couple of games until he makes a blunder, and then we'll get Barkas back in to start for another 2 or 3 games, then he'll drop back out. That's the kind of photo that's been developed throughout the season. So I don't know, I just fail to understand. Second thing is Ayer at right back. Look, we lost Frimpong today. We know that I made it sound like he died. Frimpong left today to go to Leverkusen for whatever the fee may be. He's away now. We don't have a first choice right back. I don't know where El Ahmed is. I think he's just MIA. And I mean, the talk was that he wanted to return home, but we've not heard much since. Ralston is no. So Ajer looks to be the man who's going to be first choice right back until someone else is ideally signed. And I've echoed my view on it a lot of times. I've echoed my view on it. I've said that I don't think Celtic should be a club in a situation where they're playing a guy who's a centre half at right back. That should not be the situation at a club that apparently the champions of Scotland should find themselves in. You know, that should not be the case. But I'm happy with how he plays at right back. I think that he does offer a different take in the game than what Frimpong gave us. I think he looks good. You know, I don't know what else to add just now. I feel like I would be more comfortable with him playing at centre half, but he is good at right back, and I think he'll do this until we perhaps get a suitable replacement. But we're so thin in the ground, we should have more options for the right hand side. We should have more options in the middle. You've got to think it this way: if Ajer gets injured, right, you've got no other right back apart from Tony Ralston to come in, which is nightmarish. And then you've got a centre half, only the centre halves of Duffy, Beaton, and then if you dip further down, Stephen Welsh. Is that the situation that because Julian's out, of course, is that a situation we as a club should be in? No, never in a million years. So it is frustrating, but I think his performance from right back tonight was good. I think he just does what he wants, and that's to an extent great, because I think listening to Lennon has proved perhaps it's not the right way to go, but he gets about, he's powerful, he has got pace, he turns it on when he needs it, and maybe if he just works in that final delivery a wee bit, we'll have a decent full-back option there. But I would like to see him return to centre half, in all honesty. Decent performance tonight, though.
Wait.
What are you talking about?
If I speak.
What's it still 1-0?
If I speak, I be trouble.
Was it 2-0?
Be trouble if I speak.
Is it 2-0?
2-1.
2-1?
I guess you scored. I mean, if I speak.
It's not McBurney, is it?
No, it's even worse than if I speak.
Is it Buck?
If I speak.
Just found out Ollie Buck has scored against Man United, which is great. Thing number 3 is, we just have to go a game at a time now and try and get as many points as possible. Look, I want this gap to be closed down, but the league's gone, we all know that. They just need to see how it goes from here. I don't think there was, as I said, necessarily 3 things to pick up from a home game against Hamilton that determine where we move now as a club. For all we know, we go back to losing ways or drawing ways in our next game. So just take it a game at a time, see what happens. And that's it as my take on the game. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. It's nothing special. I don't think it was bad either. It's just kind of meh. I'm becoming increasingly more numb though. Usually a 2-0 win, you're at the top of the table, you look at it and go, great result and all that, but I'm just numb. That's how I feel at the minute. Let me know anyway in the comments below. I'll see you all next time.